exponential and logarithmic functions. In our previous video, we have seen how to find inverse of exponential function and inverse of logarithmic function. So I'm taking the same examples. The exponential function f of x equals 2 e to the 3x minus 7 has the inverse function 1/3 7 minus natural log of 2 plus natural log of x. F of x is 2 e to the 3x minus 7. So the domain of this function will be all real numbers because we are not having any issues on x when you have 2 e to the 3x minus 7. It is defined for all values. So the domain will be negative infinity to positive infinity. And the domain of f inverse will be 0 to infinity. As you see here, restriction would be on natural log of x. So natural log of x will be defined when x is greater than 0. Okay, so this is my domain for f of x equals 1/3 7 minus natural log of 2 plus natural log of x. All right, so that means range of f of x is 0 to infinity for y. That means y is in 0 to infinity. And then range for f inverse x is the domain of the main function, which is negative infinity to positive infinity. So that means in this case y also goes in negative infinity to positive infinity. So I have all the functions in here. So first I will check 2 e to the 3x minus 7. So let me deselect other functions like the second one. So hit enter on this, keeping the pointer, and then the next one also enter. So in this case you will see graph only on the top one. So look at this graph. So the domain, actually this one goes all the way on this side. Okay, so that's why we are saying the domain of this function is negative infinity to positive infinity. Now the range goes from 0 to infinity like this. This graph is not going below the origin, okay, or below the x-axis. Next, I will go to the second one. So let me deselect this, keeping the pointer on the equal sign. Now this one, enter and graph it. So if you look at the graph here, so this graph doesn't cross y-axis here. Okay, so the domain of this function is 0 to infinity, as you see here on this 0 to infinity. And then range will be, because it goes all the way down here, is all the way up, so negative infinity to positive infinity. Now in example 2, I'm taking logarithm base 3 of 2x minus 7, written as natural log of 2x minus 7 divided by natural log of 3, as you see here. And all other functions I did not select, so we will see graph only of this one. Graph it. And you can see, so this is the graph, goes all the way down, it's up. So then it has something here, vertical asymptote. So where is the vertical asymptote? So we'll see our vertical asymptote, because in the argument, 2x minus 7 needs to be greater than 0. Otherwise, the function is not defined. So then 2x is greater than 7. Then x is greater than 7 over 2 is roughly 3.5. So as you see in the graph that I have here, 1, 2, 3, so 3.5 somewhere here. You'll see a vertical asymptote. So then the domain of my function f is 7 over 2 to infinity. That's the domain. And then when you say f inverse x, as you see here, domain will be all real numbers, negative infinity to positive infinity. So this is giving me a domain. And then if you want to say range of f of x, then you'll write this one, negative infinity to positive infinity. Let's go back to the calculator. Let me deselect this function, keeping my pointer on the equal sign, hit enter. So you will not see graph of those. Now in this, I'm typing the inverse function, which is 1 over 2, and then you have 3 to the x plus 7, and then graph it. You don't see it because of the window. So let me make window here is 10 units. Y limit, I have only 3, so it should be 10 or more. Okay, so this is the graph.